Welcome to Vintage Variety. Today I'm going to take you guys along with me and my friends as we go antiquing. It is once again apple season. This time of year, my friends and I like to visit the areas where apples are grown locally. While we're there, we enjoy the scenery and, of course, we visit some of the antique shops. So come along with us as we browse these antique stores, and at the end of the content, I'll show you guys what I ended up purchasing. I'm hoping you guys can see some of the prices. They have some beautiful pieces at this antique store. I absolutely love the Moonstone Dragon bracelet, but it's way out of my price range. In fact, most of the pieces in this case are, but that does not mean that we cannot browse and admire them. So I'm going to move the camera around slowly so you guys can get a look at everything. There is a mixture of both vintage and antique jewelry in this case. Look at this beautiful glassworks necklace. There's an excellent selection of bracelets here. I see quite a few that I personally would not mind owning. Some Siam place card holders. And then here on the bottom, these are a little more run-of-the-mill. I run across necklaces like that often when I'm thrifting, but I love the steel cut shoe buckles. And there is a lovely Sarah Coventry set. Another beautiful bracelet that I certainly wouldn't mind owning. This one is 925 with an amethyst. This very small case has so many items in it, it's difficult to see the prices on some of them. But I think that a lot of them are very interesting. I see an Art Nouveau style brooch, some old celluloid earrings, and a beautiful Egyptian revival bracelet. I'm going to move the camera around once again slowly so that you guys can get a fairly decent look at everything. There are just lots of wonderful and interesting items in this case. The Napier brooch is much newer, and I see some mosaic pieces over here. I don't think it's going to show up on camera, but I did find one piece in this case that was eat up with verdigris. We are moving along to the second antique store, and this case has a lot of really nice items in it. I spotted quite a few that I certainly wouldn't mind purchasing. I really love the pink bracelet down on the bottom, and the green one beside it is rather pretty. Like the seashell bracelet also. They have a pretty good selection of brooches. I actually see a few that I believe I already own. So just panning around, giving you guys a good view. Check out these earrings. There are 2 pair of vintage Les Bernard earrings, a green pair and an orange colored pair. I'm very tempted to buy at least one of those. I feel like their prices at this antique store are a lot more reasonable. Love the frog, isn't he fun? So just a lot of really nice items. Some of them I would buy, some of them I wouldn't. So now we have moved along to another cabinet, and I want you guys to see this one brooch that I really love. And I'm very tempted to buy this one. In fact, I think I probably will. Let's see, this one, the blue one, is that not gorgeous? Some more items on the lower shelf. I like this one colorful brooch. My friend said she didn't like it, but I think it's great. And then some items down here on the bottom with a piece of Fenton mixed in between them. A lot of these items on the lower shelf, these are more modern costume, but they're pretty nonetheless. I'm just going to move the camera around on this shelf again just to make sure I didn't miss any items that you guys might be interested in seeing. There's a pretty bracelet there in the back. Lots and lots of really lovely items, and you can see me in the mirror. Hi guys. We have some beautiful glassware that Eleonora and I are looking at, and I think I'm going to put her on YouTube.
Look at that for Yvonne.
Eleonora,
Yes,
I'm going to put you on YouTube.
really? Thank you.
Isn't she just a sweetheart? And she really doesn't care if she's on YouTube or not. The Ronald and Nancy Reagan bedroom slippers are quite interesting. Eleonora has found a beautiful piece of pink glassware that she wanted to show me that is marked check. I really like the pink and the green dish here. I think it's beautiful. This is something that's really neat, and I know a lot of people like to take pieces of broken jewelry and single earrings and make things out of them. So I thought this was a neat item to show you guys. Very artistic and creative way of using broken bits and pieces of jewelry. I've seen Christmas ornaments and the little framed Christmas trees made like this, but I've never seen a piece that was this large. We are in our final antique store of the day, and I really like this necklace that someone made. It gave me the idea that I could make something similar to this out of some pieces that I have at home. So that's about it for our antiquing trip. I'm going to show you guys everything I purchased at the end of the content. Let's have a look at what I ended up purchasing today. Many of these pieces are going to be vintage, and some of them aren't vintage at all, but they were pieces that kind of caught my eye and I really liked them. So I'm going to get everything moved out of the way, and I'll show you these pieces that I bought one at a time. This first brooch I think is absolutely gorgeous. It really has that Art Nouveau look or style to it. I don't think this one is quite that old. It's done on a really pretty filigree stamping, and I really love the design on the front of it. This one is not signed. I have seen a few Hobe brooches that were done similar to this one, but all of the ones that I've seen are signed, so I don't necessarily believe this is a Hobe. It does have a very antique look to it, but I don't think it's quite that old. Just judging by the construction on the back of it, the pin, the hinge, and the clasp, I think this one is probably from the mid-1930s or sometime in the early 1940s. The reason I say that is it does have a round hinge, but the clasp on this one is one of those much older clasps. It's a rollover clasp, and you pretty much have to use your fingernail just to push on it and get it open. I would try to show you guys, but obviously I'm not going to be able to do it. I have opened it up once, but I'm not sure if I can get it undone this time. So either way, I thought this was a really great item. They had a pretty decent price on it, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up today. This is a very large brooch, about the size of a sash pin, if you guys are familiar with those. The next one I simply couldn't resist, and this one I know that I'm definitely going to keep for myself. It is a beautiful enameled floral brooch, and I thought, you know what, this would look really pretty to wear this time of year because we are going into fall. I was surprised that it was in such good condition, and this one is marked. I'll get it turned around and show you guys. So this one is a coral brooch. And if you've watched me for a while, you know that I love floral brooches. I have quite a large collection of them. So this one was just too beautiful to pass up, and I will be wearing this one and adding it to my collection of floral brooches. As for the other, I'm not sure if I'll keep that one or not, even though I do love that type of jewelry. This next brooch is one that I picked it up quite a few times and I put it back, and ultimately I decided to get it. I just really liked the looks of it. It has a center pearl, all of these beautiful little rhinestones set around it, and it's done in a gold tone. It's a pretty well made brooch. It's not too lightweight. And one of the reasons I decided to get this is because it really reminded me of a few old Chanel pieces I've seen. There is a scratch on the pearl, but I don't really think that takes away from the beauty of this. I was looking at this and I was thinking, you know what, this would look really good worn with quite a few strands of pearls and just looped through them and pinned, just to have that Chanel look. So I thought that was a really great find, and it was at a pretty good price. Remember that blue brooch I told you guys that I absolutely loved? Well, it was kind of between this one and another brooch that was in that case. The other brooch was kind of a green brooch, but I felt like it was much more modern. This is done out of beautiful faceted glass, and you probably won't be able to see it, but all of this has been wired on to a piece of filigree right there and then attached to the back of this. So it does have an AB type coating on these glass beads, and it's not marked, but either way, something about this that I just really loved. So I did end up purchasing this one today for myself, and I know that this is one that I'll end up wearing. One of my friends that was with me preferred the other brooch, said they didn't really like this one, but you know, everyone has different taste. So this was the one that really kind of called out to me, and I decided I would get today. This brooch is in really good condition, but my guess is someone really loved this brooch at one time or the other. You can see on the back that the pin is slightly bent from them wearing it so many times, or maybe they wore it through something that was really thick. Either way, I thought this was a very cool brooch. I would consider this in a couple of different categories. It has that atomic look to it, but this also looks a lot like the old Victorian lover's knot brooches. So I would also consider this one to be kind of Victorian revival. I have an antique lover's knot brooch, and it's just a little tiny thing, nowhere near as big as this one. But this one was really eye-catching. I thought, you know what, I really like that. So I went ahead and picked it up today. Let's see what else we have. So this was an item that I was really hesitant on. It is a very old vintage carved shell cameo brooch, rather small. The only issue with this one is it's broken. You can see right here where the clasp on it broke off. My guess is this one originally had one of those C clasps on it, because those do get broke off over time. And I thought, you know, the cameo is in really good condition. So this could be taken to a jeweler and the clasp could be replaced on it, or it could be taken to a jeweler and the top of it could be drilled and a bell added, and this could be worn as a pendant. So I went ahead and decided to pick this one up. I love cameos. I have quite a large collection, but this one is probably not one that I'll keep because I don't know how to repair it, and I'm not sure I would ever get around to taking it to a jeweler. I thought these earrings were really cool. These are clip-on earrings, and I think they're missing a part. I've seen this particular pair of earrings before, and it did have kind of like a teardrop pearl attached to it. But these are really neat. These are faux marcasite. They're done in a gold and silver tone. You can see right here at the bottom, I think the pearl would have been attached there. These are by Carol Lee. Hopefully you guys can see the marking on those. And I like that they're also padded, because earrings like that are a lot more comfortable to wear, especially the clip-ons. So I thought these were really neat. Love how shiny and glitzy they look. And a good find. I would still wear these. You can't really tell that they're missing any kind of a part off of them. The only reason I knew is because I've ran across this pair before with the pearl or the teardrop pearl attached to the bottom loop. Either way, I thought these were a great item. Carol Lee jewelry is rather collectible. I know a lot of people like it, just the same as a lot of people like Sarah Cove. So I thought those were a really good find. This is another pair of clip-on earrings that I picked up, and I kind of just picked these up on a whim. I thought they were cute. They're very well made. They're not signed, but the pearls on these are real glass pearls. And I thought, you know what, they're not very expensive. I'll go ahead and pick them up, and I'll probably resell them, but if they don't sell, I'll probably end up putting them in a lot. And yet another pair of vintage clip-on earrings that I decided to pick up were these gold tone hoops, and these are by Napier. I thought these were really pretty. They're in excellent, like new condition. And these are the type that you can either wear them as clip-ons or screw-ons. And a lot of people like Napier jewelry, so I thought, you know, these were reasonably priced. I went ahead and picked those up also. These shoe clips were a really fun item to have ran across. I don't run across these all that often, especially not in sets. Know that a lot of people like collecting these also, and my guess is that these are probably from the 80s. There was a brief span of time during the 80s when these were kind of back in style, and really I don't know why they ever went out of style. I think they're great. If you own a plain simple pair of flats, you can add these beautiful shoe clips to them and really dress those shoes up. I was very impressed about these being in really excellent condition. I do have quite a collection of shoe clips myself, but this is a set that I most likely won't keep because I think I have a set similar to these. These I also thought were a really neat find. These are marked SC. These are Sarah Coventry. Some pieces of Sarah Coventry jewelry was marked this way. And there's so many different ways that they mark their jewelry. Sometimes it has the full name and sometimes not. But these are pierced and they're beautiful little seashells. I love how they've done this. It's got two textures on it, one smooth and one rough. So I thought those were also a really good find. Now for some more modern pieces that I picked up. These I really like. These are Juicy Couture. I do not think these are vintage in any sense, but I thought they were great. And then I picked up these little owl earrings. You know, October's just around the corner. I thought these would be really fun to wear during October. They aren't Betsy Johnson, they aren't signed, but they really have that Betsy Johnson look to them. And I thought, you know what, these would be really fun to wear for Halloween. The only thing that I saw is the owl is missing one rhinestone eye. But, you know, it's not even noticeable. That would be an easy fix. It could be replaced, or they could be worn just as they are. I feel like I found a lot of really great and interesting items today. You guys let me know in the comments which items were your favorites. And if you enjoyed this content, please remember to give me a thumbs up. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share these items with me. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified anytime I upload new content. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.